What's up guys, Bloodshed here, bringing you the Barbarian Seismic Slam push build for Diablo 3 patch 2.6.7 and season 19. It's based around the Might of the Earth set. It gives us a huge damage increase to Seismic Slam, plus they buff some items like the Fjord Cutter and the Fury of the Ancients, and even the Bracers actually. But I'm going to take you through a GR first, and then we'll go back and cover the build. As with most of my stuff, we have really low main stat, usually 850 Paragon or so, and no augments whatsoever to speak of. So let's jump into a GR 100 here, and I'll kind of demonstrate. We're going to cast all of our buffs and start spamming Seismic Slam, and you'll notice the attack speed increased. They buffed the Fjord Cutter. Look at that, it's nutty, huh? I like to call it Super Saiyan Blue if you watch Dragon Ball Super because of the blue effect, and you know, the Barb has like a Super Saiyan haircut. But it's pretty good. We did a 105 with this, with the same Paragon and main stat, so that's pretty insane. I would put this stronger than Lon Hoda, and stronger than IK Hoda, stronger than Raycor Hoda even. This build is really good. Maybe slightly stronger than Raycor Hoda, like in that low 130s, maybe at a high end. You can see our progression's already starting to take off a little bit as we do some DPS here. Let me pull these together. It's pretty tanky, mobile, as long as you play properly anyway. We have a lot of life per fury, or actually no life per fury, life per hit on the weapon. It's really important. And a lot of different abilities to keep us alive. Wrath of Berserker, things like that to do damage. I played this on stream today for like 5 hours, and we kind of worked on a build that we enjoyed the most. Shout out to Adam Disco Bear on Twitch. He got us started with the build. He was using the IK version of this. So you can actually mix and match other sets. Like you can use the 2-piece IK set to have perma ancients, and you don't have to babysit them as much. He was using that with Squirt's Necklace. That was a really good version of the build, but I prefer using the Captain set. Yeah. You guys know me, I really like the Captain set. I think it's one of the best additions to the game, just because it allows us to get more utility driven, like with cooldown and, you know, reduce resource costs and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and do some deeps here. Yeah, there we go, pulling ahead, nice map. And let me call the Ancients, pull them together. This is also early PTR if you guys are watching this in the future. So check the build description for the latest version of the build. I'm gonna keep it updated throughout the entire PTR here. Yo, this build is so much fun to play. And there might be other iterations like I was saying, so definitely check the description. This build reminds me of like those old school, it makes me happy, those old school ARPGs. Does it have like an old school vibe or no? Do you guys see that? It's fun, man. Look at that progression. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So let's go back to town here. It's a good single target because we are using Stricken. Let's go back to town here, and then I can start to showcase or talk about the build and exactly how things work together and how to play it. Maybe one more elite pop. On hardcore, you could even tank it up even further. So I'll try to add some different variations on the build guide, like the written guide later. And I also updated my Whirlwind, which we'll probably have a video kind of soon. And I updated like, you know, the Crusader, like the video that we did. So you can see pretty dope for literally no main stat. So the new items that got buffed was the Fjord Cutter. Seismic Slam attacks 50% faster, so that really does help the build. The Roland set has a built-in attack speed buff also, and that really makes it, yeah, actually hella viable. So I wish Hoda had a built-in attack speed steroid just like this. Another thing that helped was the enemies that got hit used to be 5. Now it affects the first 10 enemies hit. So it like effectively doubled the enemies that got hit with Seismic Slam. So it is a really good boost to the overall damage. Double back into the Fjord Cutter, I'd actually buff it to 300 or 300%. Right now it's 150. I feel like 300 would be a nice little buff to it and allow it to push higher into the low 130s, just more effectively for more people, and it would help a lot on the low end as well. Also, the Fury of the Ancients, these guys right here, we always had them give us resource back when they attack. but now they have 100% more attack speed. So the faster they attack, the faster we're getting resource. It helps us keep resource up with the Fjord Cutter spinning so fast. Plus, last patch, we got the Echoing Fury, so that's going to give us just nutty. That's what you see, the super nutty attack speed, just boosts it even further. We really need to keep up Ancients and Wrath of Berserker. We're doing that with the passive. That helps us a lot with stacking cooldown everywhere. And obviously the Captain Crimson set gives us 20% cooldown. So yeah, you want to stack that and the Zodiac Ring. So we have a lot of things helping us keeping up these really big cooldowns. So you got to be attacking and moving. Deaths really do hurt here. So definitely bear that in mind. If you don't know, the 6-piece for the Earth set buffs Seismic Slam to 20,000% damage. I've been trying to make this build work for a long time. On hardcore, I use like a 4 IK variation of it. And it's on my Patreon page now, you can look at it. It's a pretty tanky version of the build, you can use that. But now with these new items, this is probably the way to go for Blood. I might actually main this next season, and it might need a little bit more tweaking as well. We have to really spend some more time with it. I guess the optimal distance would be the Bloodshed rune hits within 20 yards, and you can see those red pulses outside of your character when you crit. Let me jump into Halls of Agony just to kind of remind you guys what that looks like. You see these red circles radiating out of my character? It's not like a Kaioken ability or anything like that. It's actually the Bloodshed rune, right? So that's like the 20-yard range. Ideally, you'll be able to see them spawn constantly, and then you can use that as your marker. So you want to be 20 yards away from the target. So that's like basically like it's like this kind of radius around your character. And that's what you want to shoot for. You have to be back anyway because we're using the passive No Escape, and you get 30% damage against enemies 15 yards away from you. So you want to be in that 15 to 20 yard range, I think would be ideal. You can actually on softcore take off Esoteric and put Zaze. On hardcore this should be fine, but maybe you can drop one thing for a cheat death. I definitely would bring cheat death. Maybe I would take off No Escape for that. Or you can rock Hellfire and up here, and then you can even rock like a Bandamite for that extra super tankiness, but your damage would suffer because of it. Rampage is good. More strength gives you more armor. Another thing to note about the 4-piece set, when you leap, you gain the effect of Iron Impact Rune. Iron Impact Rune is super good. It is right here. It gives you 150% additional armor for 4 seconds, but when you have the Might of the Earth set, it buffs it up to 150% more duration. So you only have to leap like around every 10 seconds or so. So as long as you're leaping every 10 seconds, you'll be good to go. Just jump in Oculus rings, and that's usually what reminds me to leap. That'll keep up your armor buff. So I could see people stacking red gems here to synergize with Iron Impact in the future or late game. And also just putting armor on your gear might be better than all res everywhere. And just because it all synergizes together perfectly, right? And even Rampage, you know, strength gives you armor, so you just get this like, you can start to get really tanky, and then having life on hit, like I said, on one of your items would be really good. Unlike the Crusader, there's not really much to do to the build. It's using two pre-existing sets and the new items. The build's super fun to play. I'd recommend it. I recommend that you play it next season, or build Whirlwind and build this build, and then kind of see what you like more. Currently, Whirlwind is way stronger. This is inferior to Whirlwind, but every build in the game is inferior to Whirlwind right now. I'm assuming that there's a bug or it's overprocking and it'll get adjusted and everything will be more in line, but we'll just see how it goes. Hope you guys like the video. I hope you like the content. If you'd like to see more content from me, if you want to see more stuff, I have a second channel focused on Let's Plays. I'm probably going to play through Pokemon Sword and Shield there in the future, coming up here next month, about a month away after BlizzCon. I'll post like Let's Plays there and things like that. I also stream on Twitch 6 days a week, or I have a Diablo podcast, and I have a build page down below on my Patreon page. I put all these builds. It's just going to be filled with all the new builds, the new content. I keep it updated all year long, so it's just constantly there and constantly getting tweaked. Thanks for watching. A new video tomorrow. I'm going to get some rest. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.